Last night, the national championship game happened, and first, let's start off with the game. Of course, the game started off slow. It felt like it was going to be one of those games where it'd be built on the defense, and we have to give Miami's defense, especially that defensive line pass rush, all the credit in the world because they were rocking Mendoza down. Like, he was getting hit. He was taking shots. His arm was all bruised up. He got his lip cut up. I mean, the Miami pass rush was just lethal in every single aspect of the game, and really rattled Mendoza, the defensive front, and it started off slow. Nobody was really getting anything going. Indiana scored a field goal in the first quarter. And that was really the only offensive action, really, in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, Indiana had a very long drive, drove down the field. I think they had a fourth down conversion or something like that. And then Indiana scored a touchdown. They were up 10-0. Miami, they had a little drive going at the end of the game. They tried to kick a field goal. It doinked off the upright, and then Indiana got the ball back, failed Hail Mary attempt. And then it was 10-0 at the half, and the game picked up really in the second half where I think Miami. Yeah, Miami. Miami, I believe. Yeah, Miami. Miami, Mark Fletcher Jr., who's been a great running back, scored the first points, I believe, for Miami, making it a 10-7 game. He had like a 56-yarder, amazing run, and then it was 7-10, and then it was just back and forth, 3-and-outs, really. Both offenses couldn't get anything going really after that, but then Miami had another 3-and-out, of course, and they were pinned, and they were at like the 5, I believe. And then the punt was blocked, recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. Big play, as you could say, and it really bit Miami in the end, of course. So then Miami drove down the field. Mark Fletcher Jr. got another touchdown. And then it was 17-14. And then they drove down the field. Fourth down conversion. And then it was fourth down and 5. In like the 7, I believe. And then Fernando Mendoza had one of the best championship plays in history. When the quarterback drawed, got hit, did not go down, and then just dove and jumped for a touchdown. A play that we won't forget, a play that'll be shown forever. One of the best plays you'll ever see this season and the entire playoff. Truly was magnificent. And it was 24-14. And then Miami drove down the field. Malachi Toney had a really great run for a touchdown. He's going to be the future of college football. He has a lot of bright years ahead of him. And then it was 21-24, I believe. Yeah, 24-21. And then Indiana drove down the field. They converted a fourth down. Could have had the game won, but one of the offensive linemen false started, making a 2nd-1, a 2nd-6, and that ended up costing them the game right then and there, for winning the game right then and there. And then they scored the field goal, and then it was time. Could Carson Beck lead the game-winning drive, and it looked like it could actually happen. They were driving down the field. Indiana had to call a timeout because it was looking very bleak. And then the first play after the timeout, Carson Beck throws a fucking sub sandwich, and the game is over. Just straight up threw it into double coverage. Didn't know what the hell he was seeing. Didn't know what the hell he was thinking. and his college career in the game was over. And Indiana had one of the greatest turnarounds in history with the second most losses. And here's the thing, the team with the second most losses in college football history won the Natty, and Oregon has never won a Natty. So that is a stat for all you football lovers out there. So, what did I feel about the game? The game really picked up in the second half. It really felt like a championship game. Defenses were elite and great. Miami deserves a whole bunch of credit. They have a bright future ahead of him if they get the right quarterback. Darian Mensah, the Duke quarterback, he'd really be a great fit for that team with Malachi Tony and maybe Mark Fletcher if he comes back, but I don't know if he'll come back. He's a junior, of course, so he can join the draft if he wants to. And I mean, he punched a guy who's more than likely talking shit. So, yeah. I mean, I just know that Ray Lewis and Michael Irvin mugged Carson Beck in the locker room after the game. Carson Beck had just straight up just walked away at the end of the game. They didn't even meet with Fernando Mendoza, which that's not even shocking because like if you pay attention to the guy, his antics, he's a loser. Like he just straight up is. He's a loser. He's an egomaniac. And somehow he got this far, but he blew it, and that's on him, not on anybody else but him. And so now his career is over. Miami more than likely is going to get the Duke quarterback, Darian Mensah. In Fernando Mendoza's little brother, Alberto, he's in the transfer portal. We wonder what happens to him. Who's Indiana going to bring in now? All that stuff, but just a whole amazing year for Indiana. Happy for him. You can't help but respect and be happy for him. And next year, hopefully it'll be different. Hopefully Ohio State will get things right, especially with that schedule we play. Definitely a little bit harder than this year's schedule, of course. But no, hopefully we make it to Vegas. And I'm gonna need to make a video about the AFCON, whatever thing it's called. I'm gonna need to make a video about that because it is genuinely going crazy still, and it could get way worse from here. It looks like an alarming situation. I'm wanting to make a video about what I've been listening to lately, what new stuff I've been listening to lately. Maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't. We'll see. But I plan on being more active here. Even though it's cold as hell and I'm doing this out and I'm recording these videos outside and whatever, I'm gonna make more videos, whatnot. And hats off to Miami to getting there, to beating us, to beating Ole Miss, and having a great game with Indiana. Hats off to them. The U looks like they're back. They're going to get the job done because someone threw a meat sandwich. But Indiana, hats off to them. Hats off to Fernando. Tom Brady was at that game. He had a smile I bet he had a smile on his face the whole time Fernando was running that touchdown in. But Fernando Mendoza, you are definitively the number one pick. There's never been more an obvious one. So, congratulations, Raiders. You got yourself a player. You won yourself the Tank Bowl. And the Jets are going to rot in mediocrity. Well, so are the Browns, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's it. One more thing. Browns, y'all better hire Grant Udinski. Sean McDermott got fired. Yeah, I saw something about McDermott not being happy with the roster and saying it wasn't able to win a Super Bowl. So that's pretty much why they fired him, because their egos got hurt and they freaking promoted Brandon Beane. So I don't know what the hell they're thinking there. And the Titans didn't hire Matt Nagy. Thank God. It would have been hilarious though, but they hired the right guy. They hired Robert Saleh, who hopefully can bring in a guy who offensively knows what he's doing. He better be a better coach than Brian Callahan. Happy that he's getting a second chance at head coaching after getting screwed up with the New York Jets. So, and that's it. I'll make a video when every head coaching vacancy is filled up. When free agency happens, I'll make a video about that. So, and Jeff Hafley with the Dolphins. They're definitely gonna sign Malik Willis. Apparently, the new general manager there is an executive for the Packers. So makes sense why they got him. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. No college football for 7 months. We have reached a time where football is wrapping up, and we need to appreciate it. The NFL championship and the Super Bowl for as long as eternity. And no, we are not going to watch the Pro Bowl. Nobody and their mom gives a fuck about that. But yeah, that's it. Bye.